Hey, so I just got back from a Celebrate Recovery meeting. Uh, I just went to a Celebrate Recovery meeting for the first time, and it was interesting. Um, there were, so I'm just gonna basically walk you through what Celebrate Recovery is like and what it is. Celebrate Recovery is a faith-based recovery program, and it's for Christians, and basically what it is you it starts out as a service, and that service, or at least tonight, the one I went to, there was singing and a lot of it was like a mini Christian rock concert or something, and I do not particularly care for that part, but there are good and bad things in everything. So there we did this like Christian rock concert, sing along, and then there was a speaker, and the speaker would I would say was pretty good. He was a gambling addict, and basically just shared his story and some inspirational thoughts that I guess he has been throwing around, and overall I would give the guy like a solid B plus. He did very well. He related a lot of stuff to the 12 steps, which of course I don't like, and Celebrate Recovery is based on the 12 steps, I suppose. Um, and after all of that, there was another little round two of singing, and then it went to the meeting. And the meeting was pretty interesting. It was actually pretty small. Not everyone that went to the service came to the meetings, and the meetings were gender specific. So it was all men in the meeting, and they had an all female meeting as well. So I went to the men's meeting, and uh, basically what you do is you sit down and you go over a short list of principles and rules, no cross talking, stuff like that, stuff like you would find in a normal AA meeting, and it was pretty good. The What you did is we sat around a round table. I don't think that is a like a rule that there has to be a round table or there's any like seating instructions, but that's what we did, and we just went around the circle and did an open share, what they called an open share meeting, which is, I guess, when you go around in a circle and just talk about whatever's on your mind and what's bothering you, or share something inspirational. And they don't like crosstalk, but there were several times when people um, would give insight into other people's problems, and it seemed very appreciated by the people, which is was refreshing for me, because normally in those types of AA meetings, people, if you try to give any type of advice, or if you try to give your perspective of someone's situation, oftentimes I think um, you're met with a kind of "how dare you judge me," or "how dare you think that you know what it's like to be in my shoes," blah blah blah, whatever. But I think because all of these men in this group share uh, that same uh, belief in Jesus Christ, I think that allows them to be more open to the other men in the group. And it was a very, I would say it was pretty raw. People were talking about problems in their marriages and depression and real life stuff that you don't normally find in AA meetings. A lot of people will go in and be like, man, I've really just been thinking about drinking all day and I can't get the thought out of my mind, and I need somewhere to talk about this. Or they have, it's more addiction focused. In DRA meetings, which are harder to find, I would say they're much more similar to this Celebrate Recovery thing because it's not drug addiction or alcoholism or anything specific. You can come to Celebrate Recovery to really deal with any type of problem. There are people there for anxiety. There are people there for depression. There are people there for OCD, and there are people there for pill addiction. And it was just a very fascinating. It was a very. It was interesting for me, probably because I haven't been in that type of uh, group recovery meeting setting for such a long period of time. But I do think that what a lot of it is just the fact that I could have I went to this meeting and was not completely turned off right away, which was I thought was a pretty big thing. You know, I'm planning on going back next week, just because, you know, I feel like I'm in a really good place in my life. I don't necessarily feel like I need to go to meetings for my own sobriety, but getting to meet some of the guys in that group and hearing some of their problems, what they're dealing with, you know, I I feel like I feel something within me to want to be there for them and want to be. Um, I don't know. I'm trying to, you know, everybody needs places where they can go and meet friends. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a ton of friends right now, and the fact of the matter is you know, most of these men are twice my age, and I really don't care because I just need someone that I need human connection. You know what I'm saying? Like real life human connection. And if I can find it in a place where I know that there's some expectation of sobriety and there's some expectation there's no expectation of me needing money or you know, sometimes no one's expecting you to like fucking come or some shit. Like I need those types of relationships. I need friends, and I think at least for now I'm gonna try this Celebrate Recovery thing, and you know, I'm still really new to it. I don't know everything about it, and what I have been to exposed to about it, I'm not completely, you know, like I'm not a huge fan. Like I don't like the 12 step aspect of it, and I don't like the churchy singing part of it. But you know, I don't mind, you know, and I don't really care for like listening to other people's war stories or anything like that. Not that this guy really had war stories, but had he had been a drug addict, he probably would have had a lot more war stories. His were more along the lines of, you know, he was on a gambling spree and ended up in a mental hospital. You know, whatever. That's not. I don't particularly think that that's conducive to a recovery type of atmosphere. I don't think you necessarily should have to be telling people how, how to go wrong in their life. You know what I'm saying? It's about how to get it right. And the guy, I think, did a pretty decent job of doing that. I suppose my overall ratings of tonight's meeting would have to be like a solid, you know, it was a good B performance. Like the band didn't stay for the meetings, and they were people my age. But you know, whatever. I talked to him beforehand, and it was kind of uncomfortable and awkward anyway. It was not nearly as comfortable as it was with the men that were twice my age, you know. So, whatever. But yeah, I think I'm gonna check out the Celebrate Recovery thing. I'm not a fundamentalist Christian by any means. I do have some I do have some faith in Jesus and in the Bible or Jehoshua or Horus, or I have faith in death and then being reborn. I have faith in uh, knowing God and knowing that path, and the Most High not being in temples made by hand, dwelling within temples made by hands. I have faith in those things. I have faith in the word of Jesus. The other apostles can basically suck my dick. I don't necessarily care what they really have to say, but you know, Jesus. I can't name anything that he said. Nothing comes to mind that I really disagree with or feel any type of anger towards the Christian church about. So whatever. I'm gonna try this, and I'm gonna try to, uh, at least be somewhat open in these meetings. I don't talk about myself. I did share, that I was a recovering heroin addict and that I had dealt with some sexual abuse problems in my childhood. But I did not share really anything beyond that. And that was fine. That's your choice in the meetings. But I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to. If I can't work through any of my own demons, I'm gonna at least try to contribute to helping someone else. And I guess that's the, the, at the end of the day, that's what the 12 steps are all about: service work and being accountable. And that's really what I'm trying to achieve in going to these meetings. I want to be accountable to these people. I want to try to make some type of presence known in the outside world, outside of my home and my job. I would like to, have some type of people in my life. And hey, Christians work. And wish me luck.